Hi guys, this is Dr. Denny Warren with Generations Health and Wellness Center, and I want to share with you guys some of the research and some of the things that I went through in my postgraduate certification. And the research is on epigenetics. You know, throughout all of the health science fields, when you look at medical school, when you look at chiropractic school, dental school, all of the fields, they're all taught this theory called the central dogma. And the central dogma says that your genes control the fate of your cells. And there's this new science. The new science is called epigenetics that is proving all that wrong. Because here's the thing, if your genes, the genes that you got from your mom and the genes that you got from your dad, if that controls the fate of the cells, so if you're lucky and you got healthy genes from your own dad, your cells and your body is going to be healthy throughout your life. That's great. But if you're unlucky and you inherited bad genes from mom or dad, and you inherited those genes, you can't change those. So your genes, your cells, your body is going to grow up diseased and have problems. Well, if you believe in that whole line of thinking, that whole theory, then you're a victim. You become a victim of your genes because you can't go and remove those genes. But what epigenetics has now shown us is that we can change the expression of those genes. Now that's exciting because it comes from our lifestyle choices. In fact, the American Journal of Medicine actually says that 75% of all deaths in the United States are due to lifestyle. 75% of all deaths are due to lifestyle. Here's another one here. It says, new research from Yale University found that genes contribute to only 25% to the length of your life. So your whole longevity, I hear this all the time. People are like, you know what, I have great genes in my family. My grandpa lived till he's 99 years old. Well, that's great. Now, I don't want to take anything away from your genes or your genetics because you did inherit those, but that's only 25%. And the rest of it is really because of your lifestyle choices. Your lifestyle choices will either speed up your degeneration, speed up all of the illnesses and speed up the progress of all the illnesses and problems in your life, or your lifestyle choices can reverse that through your epigenetics and increase the health and vitality. Let me give you a simplistic definition or description of what epigenetics. When you hear epi, the prefix epi, that means on top of or around something. So if you think of my epidermis, that's the level of skin on top of my dermis. Okay, so if my arm here was your double helix, your DNA, this is your genes here, my sleeve would be like your epigenetics covering all of your DNA. And a very simplistic way to think about it is your epigenetics, you can express your genes, you can turn your genes on, or you can turn your genes off. And that comes from our lifestyle choices. Let me give you some examples. Jurtle and Waterland are two researchers out of Duke University. They took agouti mice. These mice have been bred in a lab for generation after generation after generation. And first of all, lab for a mouse is not a natural environment for a mouse. So these mice, they had a bad diet, which wasn't what they're supposed to be eating, in a stressful living environment. They actually developed obesity that changed the color of their coat. They actually were yellow every time, when the mice in the wild were actually brown. And these mice had heart disease, cancer, had diabetes, all the illnesses that we had. And in this experiment, they actually did one thing. They didn't go in and pull out the genes, the bad genes. They actually changed the mom's diet. And in one generation, the baby mice went back to that natural brown coat. They had no obesity. They didn't have any of the illnesses and diseases that were rampant in the other one. So that's in one generation. So you think of having kids in one generation. If you've had problems and health problems, you can change your eating habits and your style, and you can actually produce a more healthy offspring, which is really cool. Another one, a gentleman named Dean Ornish is a cardiologist out of California. It says right here, after 3 months, the men had changes in activity in about 500 genes, including 48 that were turned on and 453 genes that were turned off. So let me give you a little bit of information on this one. What he did is he looked at men with prostate cancer. He went and took a biopsy of the prostate gland, and he looked at it and he saw the expression of these genes. And he then took those people and had them eat healthier, more fruits and vegetables, had them do yoga, walking, stretching, relaxation, and positive meditation, visualization type exercises. These are all things we teach in our office. They had them do all of those things, and in 3 months, he went back and took another biopsy of the prostate, and he saw a change in 500 genes. the expression, turning them on and turning them off. So 48 were turned on and 453 were turned off. The ones that were turned off were the ones that promoted prostate cancer, breast cancer, heart disease, diabetes. The ones that were turned on that promoted more balance in your overall health of your body. This is an interesting quote. He said, this is Denny Warren saying this, in just 3 months, I can change hundreds of genes simply by changing what I eat and how I live. That's pretty exciting. So again, if you're thinking, oh, I'm doomed because I have this nasty disease, or depression runs in my family, or heart disease runs in my family, well, you need to make different choices, because what runs in families is habits and choices. Your parents taught you how to live, and you're probably living very similar to them. Their parents taught them. So habits run in families. Now, there's one other thing, because we're chiropractors in here, and we want to help express the best genetic possibility. And I've told people this oftentimes, and this is actually, they're showing research on it now, that every time you get adjusted and you improve the health of your spine, improve the health of that energy flowing from your brain down to your body, you're also changing your genetic expression towards a normal, healthy genetics. That's exciting, because we're chiropractors. So here it is. This is from the Journal of Body Works and Movement Therapies in 2008. It says mechanical forces applied at the macro scale produce changes in biochemistry and gene expression within individual cells. So let me break that down. So mechanical forces, when I do an adjustment, that's a mechanical force at the macro scale. And what that's doing is that's inside that person's body, that's changing the genetic expression towards health and towards well-being inside that body. So when you start to learn about the excitement about epigenetics and start to get out of that whole mindset of being a victim of your genes, that you have some choices that you can make that's going to help turn on your healthy genes and turn off your bad genes, whether it be chiropractic, whether it be good nutrition, exercise, healthy thoughts, all of those things are going to help. It gives you hope. So I hope that you get some hope out of this message. And so if you have any questions about this, you of course can call our office, but I encourage you, continue on with your journey, continue to make those good choices. You will see positive results for that. Thanks for joining. We'll see you again soon.